Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sun Tzu, The Art of War for Investor and Trader. 7 strategies for making money in a market correction with SmartRobie, of course. Now, a lot has been said where the market is undergoing corrections, as we can see right now. So I was thinking really deeply for the audience and those of you who has been following me. I really want to give something back to you as a value as I study the Sun Tzu Art of War, which I do have a copy right here. This book here. It's a very good book. You can get hold of it in the local library. Sun Tzu on Investing and Trading, 15 strategies for dynamic investment. So what I did was, I know most Malaysians like you all don't want to read any book, right? So what I did was I summarized this book for you and give you in 7 making strategies. So that's the least I could do, right? So if you like that, give me a thumbs up, right? So what I do is I try to pick some of the best things that we can have on the great ideas in Sun Tzu Art of War and share it with you definitely tonight. All right, thank you. So this is those of you who are first time, do type 1 and we will go on. Now, how many of you are still in the current market? If you're still in the market, type 2. Just type 2 if you're still in the market, so I know that you're still in the market. And because some of these will really apply to you in making money. That's right. Haha. Okay, if you're still in the market, just type 2 inside there. Okay, thank you. All right, so this is what we are looking for. Sun Tzu Art of War, 7 strategies for making market correction. All right, let's move on. Okay, now those of you who just typed 1 just now, do join our Telegram chat room. This is a free stock market information, a lot of trading ideas, some of the recordings that we have, we will also post it back so you are not miss out in any of the update on important information about the market. And also do subscribe to our YouTube where all our live FB channels are archive and you can never miss it, because some of the points that I will talk tonight, I will also refer back to the notes that we will have. That's right. Okay, so do take note. Okay, baru beli genting. Okay, good. Okay, and those of you, and okay, let's move on. So Robie is also one. Those of you who are first time, you can also download a copy of SmartRobie, which is our company apps, which contain a lot of trade ideas, a lot of FA, how to use them, and you can get it from the Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. If you have not, just download a copy from a Google Play Store. Just type SmartRobie in Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. You can find out very interesting how SmartRobie can help you to trade. That's right. Okay. Now, meanwhile, that's right. Meanwhile, what is happening to our market? That's right. Now, the market is becoming more jittery as we have today, even today on the 30th of, we are closing to the 30th, just 7 days more to the 30th of September, where we've seen our market not able to hold up. And for today, we broke down the 1500, and partly this is because the drop in the trading volume and the selling pressure as people don't have money because they're going to pay back their loan. So this is where borrower need to service their loan. In the past, there's no need to service. It was a holiday, and maybe banking shares is something you want to look at. At the same time, analysts also assure that the impact won't be as bad as it is. And well, what do you think? Do you think the impact will be bad? If the impact will be bad, just type bad. If not, you just type so-so. Okay, what do you think? With the moratorium that we see so far, are we going to be going through a really different market? Okay, this moratorium here. What do you think? Okay, all right. Now, also at the same time, the glove stock had dragged the KLCI to a 2 months, coming almost to a 3 months high, and Top Glove have initiated share buybacks. Those of you who don't know, the share buyback is already in place, and they spent up to 328.5 million for that. But more about it is also, you know, the impact. You know, they did a share buyback almost 330 million, but at the same time, the same news from the Edge CEO also reported the director sold fair bit of shares, almost 380,000 shares, are worth about 3.3 to 4 million dollar type of shares. So sometimes we always talk about whether the ethical, you know, at the same time, you know, they are reassuring that the market has some sort of support, but at the same time, you know, CEO or executive directors are saying, no doubt, you know, we have said before, they are still human, they still need to, you know, have put food on the table for their family, but they're still at this point selling too. Okay, so that's what's happening in the thing. It's not very good timing too. They could have done it much better at the later stage, perhaps to sell. After all, if they are in for the longer term, maybe they shouldn't have done it. So what do you think? Do you think this is an ethical thing to do? If it's not so ethical, just put not so ethical. Thank you for that one, right? So this is, you know, the key point where we are today because of the market that we've seen. Okay, and also the next meanwhile news is that our boss, you know this boss, right? You tahu siapa ini boss, right? This is Tengku Zafro, that's right. So Tengku Zafro is confident in our Malaysia remaining strong, okay, despite all the COVID, where the foreign investor invested almost 23.1 billion into the market right now, foreign direct investment, and that's why the construction sector is the next pick based on budget 2021. Heavily invested in Bandar Malaysia. The Northern Corridor expect to pick up a bit more on the projects, around 300 billion in the strategic development plan around 2021-2025. So that's going to be a lot of projects in the infrastructure will benefits from that. But yet we have not seen an uptake on those market in yet. Okay, so this is tak faham what it means. Okay, so. But today a bombshell was dropped and Muhyiddin still say that I'm still the Prime Minister until proven otherwise, because the old Deputy Prime Minister Anwar, which is the PKR, has wanted to summon the Agong, right? But the Agong was in IJM. I think you heard about it, whether there will be a change of government. So what do you think about this news? What about think about this news? Is this something that you know, the new Pakatan, and that's what also causes this market carrying right now. We see a lot of G3 in here. So as such, what we will do, right? We won't have any talk this coming Friday and also Monday. I'll be doing my Cuti Malaysia. So do take note. There won't be talk from my side on the breakfast show on Friday and Monday, so I'll be going for a Cuti. But what I'll do over that weekend when I go for a holiday, I will prepare something for you, is this one in here. You could not see the tumbling of the House of Card government on today, but opportunity in politically linked counter in KLSE. Yes, that is something that I plan to talk about next Wednesday. That's right. So rather than, you know, do a bit here and there, I'm just going to do one more talk. Tumbling on the House of Cards. That's right. The government of today, because what we have seen, Anwar, the PKR, is seeking a summon to see the Agong. But Agong decided to go to see IJM to do a heart checkup for that one. So it's going to be interesting to see how it is. So this is next Wednesday talk. So I hope you will come back and listen to me the next Wednesday talk on the House of Cards for the government of today. That's right. Where you go, Jalan Boss? Cuti Malaysia. That's right. I will tell you where I go, okay, when I come back from my Cuti Malaysia. Cannot go anywhere lah. I wanted to go fly out. You know, I booked my ticket. Finally have to cancel. So what to do? Cuti Malaysia. But I'll really study this political, whether the Perikatan Nasional versus the Pakatan Harapan inside there. All right. Thanks, Mike. Okay, now let's look at the foreign funds that we can see. All this while, my main concern was the 150 mark here. You can see average. And then all of a sudden, we started to hit here. This is the part where we see almost a minus 360 million. Okay, now the foreign funds flow, what is stated? If more selling, okay, more selling of outflows, right, the KLCI will drop. Okay, so you can see this is the blue line, the KLCI continue to drop. The red one is a negative, all right? And so we have a little bit of positive and we want to see more. So as such that right now, you can see this is another cross. The 100, remember 150 is over here. Okay, so you can draw that straight line somewhere around here. We hit above that. Right now it is less, but we need the foreign funds to come in. If you have seen the foreign fund, then this market will break out. But as such, we see, what do you think? Right? With the news that we have, where Muhyiddin, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin said that I am the Prime Minister until proven otherwise. What does that what does that tell you about the foreign fund? Cabot first, isn't it? That's right. Like you show Cabot one, right? Alright. So this is the real problem that we've seen in our market in here. So it's really mind-boggling on what we've seen so far here. And Shafi will have a claim on the majority too. That's right, Kevin. That's right. Okay. So, you know, what can we do about it? There's very little we can do. But meanwhile, our trade VSA, which have the buy and sell signal, you can see the KLSE broke below. Okay. So we broke. Okay. We break. Okay. We break below. Okay, 1500. So we are right below 150. We are 9 points down, and to me that's a bit scary. We are still less than 7.5%. Now anywhere between 7.5 to 12%. Okay, these are deemed as market corrections. Okay, market corrections. But the smaller cap stocks may correct a bit more too. All right, so that's something you all should take note of that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, let's turn our attention to Sun Tzu tonight. That's right. Now, Sun Tzu is who? Who is Sun Tzu? Sun Tzu is going to be focusing a lot on military, on business, how we overtake it. And he actually found, they actually found a script, right, in the, almost in 1972, the real script of Sun Tzu inside there. I can't read Chinese, so I don't know what those means. But this is the closest thing to the scripture of military and how he acted the war. Many people actually learn it, even in the Harvard Business School, military school, they actually learned it. So right now, you know, I will share with you what are the things that you can apply on the stock market correction in here, Sun Tzu. All right, so I hope you all like it. If you all like it, give me a thumbs up. All right, really appreciate what we're going to do. Let's look on to what we have inside. So in the Sun Tzu Art of War, and he's actually previously from the Qi state, right? And it was around 400 to 300 BC, before Christ, okay, before Christ, where he presented these 13 chapters. He was basically seeking a job interview lah. He was born in Z, but they didn't Qi in a warring state. Okay, I'll show you the next one in here. And what it basically says about the Sun Tzu Art of War, those 13 chapters: in peace, we prepare for the war. In war, we prepare for the peace. And that's what it means. It means during this market correction, what do we do? What? Come on, gentlemen. What do we do in this market correction? Right? We do our homework, right? We prepare for it. And when at war, when the market was booming, what do? Right? We go in and we start to trade, we start to buy shares. So we look for those shares to buy. And that's what those people who prepared very well, some of our members benefit for that one. But for most people who are the beginners, they only prepared when the market hot, isn't it? So this is why there is going to drop. So this is the first takeaway from the Sun Tzu Art of War. I think this is quite important too. And while he was, let me just show you a chart where he was born. So he was from the Qi state. You can see from the Qi state, and then he moved over to the Wu state. Okay, so this is where he was original. Number one, then he moved to here. So he went here, he became a general, all right? As such, he wrote those books and also military strategies, and it became a talk of the town. And let me share you one story, which I will never forget when I read this book over here, the 15 strategies, this book here on Sun Tzu Art of War. And let me show you how he became famous. Now, what do you see here? Anybody, can you type what do you see here, right? And those days, what is that called? Anyone? All right, I think we all know, right? Those are what we call, in Malay they call them gubnit. Okay, they call it in English, they call concubine. And a king at that time, the king of Wu. Okay, the king of Wu, he have few hundreds of concubine. Pretty girl, they sapu one. You know, right? If you've seen some of the Chinese movie or Chinese drama on the TVB, right? So they will sapu, they have a lot of concubine, but normally become concubine. Then after they have a hierarchy, right? All this concubine down here, okay? And then finally there's an empress, okay? There were emperors on top here. So this is like a hierarchy. So they have to move up their ranks like that, all right? So what has happened is that, so before Sun Tzu applied for a general job in the state of Wu, okay, he may not be king of Wu. So okay, show me how good you are. Okay, I tell you what, I can train your troops, your concubine. The troops are in this case is the concubine, okay, to become soldiers. Now, they're not going to go out and war, but I'm going to teach them how to march. All right? Then the king of Wu said, oh, my concubine all every day, don't do anything, want to play around, they're dancing in the palace. So you can train them to be march in the palace. I'll give you the job title as the general. How about that? All right? So I hope you haven't heard this story before, isn't it? All right? So this is what he did was he divided the concubine into 2 groups. And each group, he has a leader. Okay? So what happened is that he get one of his soldiers to go and teach these 2 groups to do what? To do marching, right? So he hoped that the 2 groups will sort of have some sort of competition in this. And you see, hey, the other concubine, group A, don't do so well. We must do better than them, isn't it? And guess what? You all know what happened now, right? 2 groups also cannot march. So the king said laughing while he was watching. The 2 concubines was trying to make a embarrassment out in the courtyard, trying to do marching like a soldier, right? And then the king of Wu said, Sun Tzu, you're going to lose. You see my concubine, where they know how to march, they flirt around, play around with me, can now. So this is what Sun Tzu, Sun Tzu said to the king of Wu, you don't worry, I will show you how to do that march. Never mind, retraining, right? Remember when we go back to office, right? We always have retraining, isn't it? If they cannot do the job, retrain, okay? So what he did was he sent Sun Tzu sent the sergeant in arms, okay, or the sergeant, to retrain all these concubines, okay, to do marching also. After 3-4 times, guess what happened? Do you think they can do the marching? Cannot. They still cannot do the marching, right? Then the king of Wu said, Sun Tzu, I think you already lost. My concubine all useless one, cannot march. He said, never mind, king, you do what I tell you to do. So what he did, okay, go ahead. Sun Tzu executed the 2 leaders of the concubine. Yes, they chop off his head. And the king was very, very sad because those 2 who are the leader of the 2 groups were his favorite concubine. So what happened? He chopped off the head of those 2 group leaders and reappoint back another 2 leader for the group A and group B. And guess what? The next time, everybody able to march. You see my point, no? So that was the strategy of Sun Tzu at the final stage. How he was able to convince all the concubines in the palace to follow his order. And what he does is that he chop off the head of the leader. Yes, this is the Sun Tzu Art of War. Okay, I hope you like that story. Okay, so Sun Tzu Art of War, just like what you've seen in here, there are 13 chapters. Okay, we're not going to go through all 13 chapters in here, but we will go through what the top 3 chapters, which is related to the stock market. That's right, related to the stock market, Sun Tzu 13 chapters in here. First is the detailed assessment and planning, the strategic attack, the weaknesses, which is all these are in Chinese, okay? Knowing the strength and the weakness of yourself and your enemy and the market. So there are 3 in here. So I will share, Sun Tzu will share these relevant chapters, okay, in the stock market in here. So these are the 13 chapters in here. So first one, okay, the first one is, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. That is a very popular one. So basically this refers to the trader itself. Now ask yourself, right, if it's ever been an enemy, okay, you knowing your enemy, you must, first one, know yourself. And if there's an enemy, it's your own human emotion. Makes sense or not, right? Now it really makes sense, isn't it? Isn't it? Makes sense. So what are the 2 human emotions that really mess up all of us? Are the biggest cause of defeat is anger and greed. That's right. So anger and greed. Okay. So when we anger, sometimes it's because we make mistakes. Okay. We do not plan, and so forth. So these are the things that make us anger. We wanted to buy a share, but after the share started to move higher, then we go in and buy. Lose money, or we did not cut loss, or we did not take profit. We always get this kind of anger. So those, according to Sun Tzu, if you apply, is the greatest fundamental causes of defeat in the market. What do you think? Do you think this Make sense or not? Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, anybody know who's this gentleman or not? This old professor. He was very famous. He wrote the international bestseller, and it is the Thinking Fast and Slow. And this professor name is Daniel Kahneman. Okay, he's a winner of a Nobel Prize. And what he came out was this really simple thing called prospect theory. Now, in prospect theory, in terms of what we call about our memory, right? So if you're given $100, okay, then you will always remember nice memory. So remember that, right? So this is important. So let's say your friend gave you a tip, right? And that tip you make money, and you find that, wow, that's good. You know, hey, I have a good memory, okay? Because again, but however, if you're given 200 ringgit because you already have it, and then you have 100 US dollar, okay, in this case 100K was stolen, right? Then it won't be so nice memory, isn't it? Because the bad memory, the loss, let's say you're supposed to make more, but you lose back a bit. Then somehow, despite you make the same amount of money like you did in the first A here, okay, in B, you will have not so nice memory. That's what it means, right? So why is the second not so nice memory continue to sit on to us? Why is that? All right? Because of what we call regret. We always have this regret and this human emotion. All right? So being an important investor and trader, it's important to know this, how much the regret stays in you. Now, each and all of one are different. We are all brought up differently by our parents, from our surrounding. As we get educated, we got married, we have our children. All those will have some sort of impact to us, especially in the context of the stock market, where money comes into play. This regrets is coming. Do I say this makes sense? Okay, so this is first theory of the prospect theory, where the human regrets is very, very powerful, right? In here. So next one. Now, next one, I'm going to give you here along the same line, just to get you a little bit outside. Now, let's say you have $2,000. You have option A and option B. Okay. Option A, there is a 50% probability of losing 1,000 and 50% probability of losing nothing. That's A. Okay. Then you have option B. There's a probability of certainty. You sure lose one. Lose 500. Okay. So which one would you choose? Okay, so just type in there which one you choose. Everybody please participate, okay? Which one would you choose? Which one would you choose? Alright, just type in the answer, A or B. Now, of course, many of you would have choose what? B, isn't it? That's right. You would have choose what? Or you'll choose B, or maybe you choose A. Many of you would have choose A, right? That's right, you would choose A. But if you think of it, the right answer is A and B is the same. To be frank with you, A and B is the same. Because we as humans will take unnecessary risks to avoid losses. Now, if you think very, very carefully, right? You have a loss of 500, but you already have 2,000, but you will lose 500. But if there is a chance that you don't lose money, you will take that risk. That is why a lot of people don't want to cut loss. This is the point. They know, right, they are losing money. But if they can take a risk to hold on, maybe the stock will come back up. They may not lose anything at all. So that's why people can't cut loss. And take note, I always talk about the cut loss, okay, threshold for most people is 15%. So once it go beyond 15%, you cannot cut loss anymore. Yeah, that's right. You cannot cut loss. So always take note of that, because this is the mental inside now. 10%, 5% you can cut loss. But come to 15% cannot. So what you do, you would take a risk to avoid losses by not cutting loss. Hey, I didn't cut loss, what? So I did not lose money, only paper loss. Isn't that true, right? Yeah. Oh, somebody do A, somebody do B, okay? So that's, oh good, some of you are rational, okay? This is the point. So on this point, on the same book that you talk about thinking fast and thinking slow, We take risks to avoid losses. That's another example too, which I don't have time to talk about, but you can take a photo of this one in here where this is the second one, is about, right, a certain, this one here, where you have 1,000, about gaining 1,000 and gaining 0. That will be the next one, but I will keep this another exercise next time that we talk. Okay, but I've given you 2 just now as an example. Let's move on. Is it okay to move on? If it's okay to move on, type 3 for me. Okay, type 3 for me in there. All right. Now, some of you may find that these things, Sun Tzu Art of War, is really too much. But I can tell you, once you start putting real money in, especially those of you who are first time, right? You never put money in. That's why it's important, we always say, put money in. If your emotion doesn't go into play, you would not understand many of these contexts that we are talking about. But then again, it's good to know because you are studying it now also if you are first time. So Sun Tzu also said why war stories are important for investors, because we need to think first before we act, and we only act if we are sure of a favorable outcome. Now, assessment of favorable outcome is important. Now, right now in this market correction, if you buy anything, can you make money or not? Okay, what do you think? Can make money or not? If you buy anything, can you take money? So favorable outcome is important because the general who wins a battle make many calculations in his mind before the battle is fought. Okay. So this is the part that you must always think. So this is where a lot of training, like what we should do, especially those of you who follow Zac every night 9:30, okay, Monday, and also Arif as well as me. These are the kind of training that we do for you, all right? Because subconsciously you are aware, because myself and my coaches, we all have many years experience. We put our real money in the market. I, private investor, fund manager, developer, I train my guys and I train many of you who have came through our courses inside there. So it's important you have all this calculation in your mind before even you put on your first trade, all right? So what does it mean? It simply means making a trading plan. Now, this is no other than my Sifu, Tom Williams in here. Now, very importantly is just don't make it up as you go. A lot of time, people, what they do, okay? Kevin, do you recommend paper trading first for new people? Yes, the answer is right. There was a question asked for new people. Do you recommend paper trading? Yes, paper trading is good. That is to test out your theory. But when you don't put money in, you remember or not, right? You don't put money in, you won't go through the prospect theory. Because the human emotion, the nice memory and not so nice memory, remember that the regret, that will go into play. But if you don't use real money, that will never come into play. That is the problem of paper trading. Do take note of it, okay? So what Tom says that you need to prepare a trading plan, okay? And you set a profit target, a stop loss before making a trade, and then you follow through until completion, okay? That is as simple as this. So just like any great general, they always have a plan. Now, one of the plan here could be something like this: number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. You can take a picture of this, no problem. What time do you trade during the day? What was your mood for the day? Were you happy? Would you have an argument with your wife or with your husband? Would you be trading during market moving? How long are you going to hold your trade? All right. How much are you willing to risk in your trade and your total, and what are you trading? A lot of time people buy the stock. I buy Genting or I buy public bank. Then they say, hey, now where would I take profit? How? Isn't it? You hear that a lot. So trading plan is something that a lot of people don't take seriously, but it will impact you. I think this is also important too. So in our SmartRobie in here, we have the trading plan, we have the exit strategy in here, like number 7. Okay, point number 7, think to buy a Nari where it surpassed the short-term resistance at 221 or 2165 at the pullback. Okay, so this is where we talk about really using the trading plan in here. And holding period, we have, remember, number 4 here. Okay, we have number 4 here, and then we have a target. Okay, target, what is your number 6? We have number 6 here, and we also have other recommendation in here. Inari is not the best stock to trade unless you're pulled back. You can also look at Hong Leong Finance Group. So that's why SmartRobie is quite smart. It can actually ask you to check it out, the Hong Leong too. So that's how. Now another way looking at more advanced trading plan, and this is something that we will do, in our coaching that we do is that the business plan. All right, the business plan here. Why do you trade? What was the reason why? What do you hope to gain? What separates you from the others? Can I just follow one sifu and try to make money from there? Now, going back to what we talk about, the Sun Tzu Art of War. Okay, the Sun Tzu Art of War, all those. And what are your plans and what are your weaknesses? Okay, the weaknesses. Do you have a way to monitor and strategize your plan in here? And how much time do you have? And your style of trading or investing, market that you trade, entry and exit, something that we talk about. So this is something like more advanced trading plan that is included in your thing. This is what Tom would say. All right. Now, next one, dealing. Okay, dealing with friends and kopitiam tips. That's right. That's right. Dealing with friends and kopitiam. How do you like it so far? Okay. Friends and copy. Now, many times we all sit down or you're joined with Telegram, okay? They will tell you, or some sifu will tell you, hey, you know, I got you these tips and that tips, right? So, what Sun Tzu said, to win without fighting is best. Go forth armed without determined strategy and you will destroy yourself in battle. So, what it simply says that, why are your friends or your sifu or your broker giving you a stock tip? Why this sector? Very important, why this sector? You must question it. So take note of this. This is important because you really need to deal with this strategy. Is it because of green energy? Is it a battery? Is it cannabis, which is, you know, in the US context? Is it because of technology? Is this because of construction? Is it because of budget 2020? And why would you want to trade and invest on this share? Very important. Ask yourself. Just take 2 minutes because I want to make sure. Why buy now? Now, many times, many of you may not know because this is your first time. Of course, you can do a paper trading, but you won't know because once the money don't come in, which is why I talk about the nice memory and not so nice memory, it won't kick in. So you need to put in small amount. I would say if you first started, do a smaller trade around 2,000. But then many people, what they do is that they allocate maybe 5,000 or 6,000 or 10,000 to go and learn, but they never go and learn, have a proper education. They pick here, pick a bit thing, pick for them because of the commitment they don't have, and they lose it all. I also started like that. Many people go through that same thing. That's why it's important that you go through, just like you take antibiotics, right? You want to make sure you finish the course, finish it the first tablet, the second tablet. You must have a completion of it. Why buy now and why my friends are giving stock tips. So that some will give you an idea too. All right. Next, we're going to move on. Is this okay so far? Right? Is this okay so far? All right. Then the next we're going to talk about ones who know the psychology and the mechanics of conflict of every move or opponent is seen through at once and able to act precisely. The key word is act precisely, riding on the natural patterns of minimum effort. So what it simply means is that fight only when it's easy to win. That's right. So that's why when you buy any shares, you must have a strategy. One of the things we always talk about, when market correction right now, if you want to buy it, you better buy those that pay dividend. All right. So some of the stocks I have talked about early on, I think have good stage one, pay very decent dividend. Use the SmartRobie to pick it up inside there, right? Those are rating 6 or 7, have about 5 or 6% dividend. Remember, right? Because right now the market are not giving very good fixed deposit interest rate. So you might want to focus on those type of company which have very good dividend. Okay, so again, the strategy: fight only or trade only when it's easy to make. Now, this is very interesting. You can see this picture in here where a lot of people take very how many of you know this place called the Plank Walk? This is in China, Huashan. That's right. How many of you have been to here? I've never been there before, but I was told it's one of the dangerous hike in the world, okay, where the hikers have to walk through a few planks of wood bolted up, and basically they will just have a small rope hooked to their body here, right? And they will climb something like 7,000 feet. Definitely not for the those who fear or height. Like me, I fear or height. I won't go on. I will probably see these crazy people all do that, just like you say. So you can see the mountain in here, and it's a very terrifying adventure. So here we go. So important to know where is all the danger point. Okay, danger point, right? Right now, the danger point, okay, the market is not knowing the market stages. So Tom always say, the market stages is the key to master the market. And this is usually, this is something that we teach a lot. I think you heard this before. Where's the best time to buy, right? At the end of stage 1, which is here. Stage 1, we go to accumulation. This is the best time to buy here, and the market goes up. Where's the best time to sell, right? Just before or after distribution stage. So where is the KLCI right now? What do you think? Right? Where is the KLCI now? All right. Can someone tell me? Okay. What stage are we in? What stage are we in the KLCI? Right? We are in stage 4, stage 1. Where it's going to be, I would say right now we're sort of in the stage 1, still in the accumulation stage. Because of the market corrections, we went through a pullback, but I do believe the market's going to pick back up sooner, if not later. That's right. But it all going to depends on the election. The next general election 15, or what's going to be going the next few weeks, because there will be a change of player as you see the house of cards start to tumble down. So that will be next week. Okay, we will talk about that one. All right. So this is the key stages of the market. So here's an example where you all heard this before. This was very recent. A Japanese billionaire regret losing 41 million in stock trading. And he actually published it, and it was picked up by Bloomberg. He says that I regret I began trading after I only started trading, but I did not understand enough about the practice. But he was a billionaire, okay? So he lost 41 million, not a problem. So that's always the case. So this guy goes in, trade, but didn't know much about market. Does it ever happen to you? All right? Does it ever happen to you? If it ever happened to you, say yes. I trade before I learn. Okay? I trade before I learn. All right? Then on the flip side, then there's another guy, CISA trader, right? While many people panic in the Monday market crash, this Japanese trader made 34 million. That was back in 2015. Because why? He shorted the market. Now, this is simply saying that if you are buying stocks right now, right, this is currently in a market accumulation period. If the market continues to go down, you cannot make money unless it is a dividend paying stock, because you can't buy a bull product. Remember, stock is a bull product because the market only can make money if you buy low, sell high. But if you buy low, okay, the price go lower, what do? Okay, so that is why it's important to understand the market stages where we are, whether we are in stage 1 accumulation, stage 2 markup, stage 3 distribution, and then stage 4. So this is the things that why traders is important to know the stages. Okay, let's move on. Now the next rule, okay, if you are distant from the enemy, make him believe you are near. Deception is what caused opponent to come to their own accords, is the prospect of a gain, and what discourage prospect from coming. One is going for gain, one is avoiding. Discouraging is a prospect of harm. Okay, so there's two parts. It's a deception. One want to go for that gain and one to avoid it. So remember, the stock market will always lure you in hope of a gain. Good news, isn't it, right? You know the rubber glove, isn't it, right? When they say the peak performance, everybody jump in and buy. And then now you have this good news that the company, Top Glove, is doing share buyback. That's good news, isn't it? It will lure you, right? Especially some of you who are thinking of averaging down your rubber glove stocks. How many of you think of averaging down rubber glove stocks? Just type in the averaging down rubber glove stocks. All right. So this is why we talk about the deception of news will always come in. The stock market will lure you in hope of a gain. All right. Now on the flip side, if you have studied, then the stock market will also scare you off in the prospect of a loss on bad news. Correct? Now this is the bad news. So now that the company say that we lost money but only 1/4. So it's bad news. People want to avoid it too. Right now, for example, is the banking sector. That's right. The banking sector has been scared of a lot of people. Even despite they are profitable, they don't make as much as it. But that's all the bad news. But remember what Warren Buffett always say: be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. So this is a way very, very similar too. So this is only means that as a trader, we must baca buku. We must get educated. Remember, right? That's why the market correction, right? We must be, so it is only profitable for the skilled trader and investor. But it is dangerous for the unskilled one. So decide. Oh, some people are averaging rubber glove, okay? So this is my point here. So do you want to be unskilled? Hopefully not, because you have been watching me, following all my thoughts. I think many of you are not unskilled. You are just skilled, but just that you haven't been formally trained for that matter. Okay, so this is why we talk about this scaring you off with the prospect or not. Now, this is the part where it plays a lot. Our brain, we have the reptilian brain and the new mammal. You can see. So we have these 7 sin, in here. But on the stock market, right, it actually refers to the investing and trading sins. We have these 5 things. Number 1, greed, fear, our pride, regret. Remember, we talked very deeply about the regret, nice memory, not so nice memory, and impatient, right? So investing and trading sin, it's like a sinkhole. You see this sinkhole? All these 5, greed, fear, pride, regret, and impatience, it's going to get you fall into this pit hole. Don't ever fall into here, because this is the one. I know it's easy said than done. You will say, Martin, but how do we avoid fear and greed? That's why what we talk about being skillful, right? That's what Sun Tzu is here. That's what I'm here. That's what my coach are here to train and retrain you in here. It's not going to take overnight. I've been doing this for the last 15, 20 years. I would say I have my fair share of falling into a hole like you see up there, falling into that sinkhole, right? But I didn't get killed, okay? Most important, I made some small losses, but I came back, I made back more. I think that's more important. The lesson learned here is that we, the coaches and myself, we have made a lot of mistakes in our books. We were greedy, we were fearful. In a way, we were also egoistic, right? And we regret didn't take profit. And but one thing we must always ensure is that we must be very, very patient waiting for it. I think many of you are patient, just waiting for the right time, waiting for it here, right? Hong Ping Long, I bought a lot of banking stocks, seeing them keep going down. I felt like I bought them too early. Yeah, probably because you don't have a strategy, or maybe you have a strategy, you didn't get the timing right. That's why understanding the market stages is important. I hope I answered your question, Hong Pei Wong, okay? So that's good. Good, great. If you have some questions, I hope you like what you've seen so far. If you like this, give me another thumbs up, okay? While I get a sip of water too, okay? Because I want to go through some of this strategy, right? In here. Okay, let's move on. Now, one of the things that we do in terms of overcoming our strategy is our 12-month coaching with our masterclass, where we do a lot of this Zoom. You can come back and re-attend. We try to understand what we talk about: hidden buying, hidden selling, smart money, when to really want to buy, look for good risk to reward, right? The market psychology and the trading, something like what we're doing tonight, but it's on a more regular basis that we do here, okay? And our master coaching and training, where we have a classroom and also Zoom face-to-face. So myself and we are coaches out there to really train you, make sure you don't get those kind of investing and trading codes. So this is the whole purpose of really having a coaching and a training. No, like it or not, right now you're listening, I'm also coaching you. It's just that it's free. But this one is our master class, where we go to 12 months program where you are committed to go through this. Because like it or not, market go through stages. When the market resume again, it's going to move back up. And right now, because of the post-MCO, we are able to do face-to-face meetings. So we'll be doing the next 2 weeks. So those of you who are interested, maybe you can stay back at the end. I'll tell you a bit about more information. Now let's move on. Now, Fifth one, if the opponent want the whole firm and attack when they are not prepared, and if the opponent want to establish a front-end attack, appeared where they do not expect you, which means you don't meet them head-on. All right, never meet head-on. So in investing and trading, what do you do? Right, basically you don't buy what is favorite. Some of you say that I don't want to buy rubber glove. That's a right strategy. Okay, so if you look really indeed, this is like what Warren Buffett looking for a diamond in a mountain of coal. That's right, looking for diamond. So what we want to do is like go for those least coverage stock. And now this is a lot of people thought this is something crazy. You know, I just want to buy something that is popular. So that strategy is that what Sun Tzu say, if you're expecting someone to come head on, but you don't want to take them head on, so what you do, you go for those least coverage stock. And how we do that, SmartRobie has all these facilities. So every time when I go through my breakfast show, those of you who have been following my breakfast show, I talk about certain stocks, right? Take a look at it, because some of these haven't been covered yet. And this is how I make money, ladies and gentlemen. I will pick those least coverage stocks. No doubt there are some risks involved, but I know of the risks because I come prepared. And use SmartRobie to your advantage in here. All right. So one of the things I've talked about previously was on the July is the DNA to 100 to 1 shares winners in Bursa and how to find them. So we will, and these are the shares we believe has a potential to make, right, 100 to 1 share winners. Okay, this is an old talk that I have. You can see 1,000 over percent, 2,000% in 4 years. Of course, you're going to ask me, is this going to do the same? So before you say that, I like you, and these are the stocks that I have. I've talked about this earlier on. These are the stock lists. You can take a picture of this very quickly, or you can go on to this. Let me just move this QR code for you so you can read it. Okay, and okay, so you can scan through this QR code, or you just type DNA 100 to 1 trade VSA. You're able to find this same video talk, which I'm not going to. I spent almost 1.5 hours going through all the criteria about picking up those least coverage stock. Of course, when we first came up, Penta and Top Glove many years ago, they're not covered. So the whole point is finding those before they are covered. Yeah. So check out that video, QR code this, or take a photo of it and then check out the video when you have time, because these are information training that you can partake going forward to, and I hope that will definitely help you a lot more there. Okay, I keep Penta always. Okay, good. So let's move on to the next one here. All right. So next is here the last strategy of Sun Tzu: replenish strength with arms and personnel captured from the enemy. That's right. So which means you capture the enemy, you take their supply, you take their women, their children. This reminds me of the pyramid, the old movies, where the bad guy come over, they take everything, take the chicken, no? So here they take their guns. So in investing stage, what we do is that we compound our returns. That's right, compounding your returns. Remember the rule of 72. So what it simply says that you must always, if your strategy like me, I always have some shares in the market, fully invested. I may not have 100%, but I have 60 to 70%. So these are some of the strategies we talk about portfolio management. Okay, portfolio management in here, it's important. So remember rule of 72. Okay, now rule of 72 simply says that if you have 72, you divide it by the interest rate. If your interest rate in this case is 3, right, then this will be 72. So let's say your interest rate you can get is 12%. Okay, 72 divided by 12. How many is that? Now use your calculator. 72 divided by, how many years for you to double? So I use my 72 divided by 12. How many years? Anybody? Berapa tahun this one? This one will be 6 years. Okay. So a lot of my portfolio for my client, the way I've been doing, I've been very fortunate. I try to double their money 5 to 6 years. I'm not talking about 10,000. I'm talking about 200,000, 1 million, 2 million, those kind of big amount where you can sleep well having the right strategy. I think a lot of you people may have $50,000 in here, but look back on the strategy. Some of you will have, the whole point is to have a consistent strategy where you sleep well and able to double your money in 5 or 6 years. I think that's very important. The message is able to double it. And the long-term goal, what Tom always say, have a predetermined target profit or run your profit, but is to beat inflation by amount. That's the real goal why we invest. And I always say this before, using the rule of 72. So I hope this is really good value that you all see this and using Sun Tzu. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to come to a summary, the 7 factors in winning the stock market, the Sun Tzu. The first one, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you should not fear the result of the 100 battle. So this is where we talk about know yourself, okay, which is our emotion. Remember? Right, that's right. So we don't want to listen to our emotion. Then the battle who make where many calculation in the mind before the thing. So this is have a plan, okay? Plan, so you can see that you see your plan. To fight without fighting is best. Go for forearm without determining you shall destroy yourself in the battle. So this is where we talk about having the strategy, okay? Okay, and then once you have the strategy, fight only easy when it's easy to win. So this is where you want to do, either you do a long-term investing, okay, where you have dividend, all right, and then fourth, if you are in distance from the enemy, make him believe that you are near. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, make you hear they are near, and this is where you create deception. That's right. So the deception is, okay, let me just get this. This last one is that we do on small cap. Okay, and we call Sumu. Remember? Go and watch that one. Okay, if you are distance, you make him believe you are near. We use deceptions. Okay, okay, so if you can't remember, go back and play back this video again. And then finally, this is compound. Okay, compound your returns. And the long goal is to beat inflation. So all 7 in here, we talk about emotion, we talk about knowing yourself, we talk about your strategy, the long-term investing, whether it is by dividend or not. Okay, is this okay so far? What do you think? Ken? Boleh jalan? Do let me know, okay? So you can take a photo of this one as we go on. Let's move on. Okay, now trade VSA has always been part and parcel core of our work when I first learned it from Tom, but before that I give credit also to Bill Womack, and he has this book that the undeclared secrets of to drive the stock market. So what we have done is that we have combined the Trade VSA pioneered in Malaysia by our company Trade VSA in here. So right now we have already brought the next level of products to the market, and this is absolutely free. You can download it from Google and Apple Play Store. Let's see what is the FA scoring. We have combined fundamental scoring also for any stocks that you look, especially when we talk about those small cap stocks in there. All right, and just not to talk about it, is our next week course, October 2nd to 5th. Is our so come back and re-attend the proven way to trade in the US and stock market in here. This is a 3-day course, but as such we have already extended to 5-day. Okay, so this is really in here, and what we have done, we have combined the 3-day course with the classroom and the Zoom, so that way you can get more benefits in here to learn those strategies. And those of you who are interested in our masterclass, you want to type MC. Okay, just type in MC over there, and I'll explain a bit more about what you will get in our 3-day course. Actually extended more to the 5 days over there. If you're interested, just type MC in here. No obligation, of course. Okay, so what I want to do now is just to share with you, because 2 more weeks we'll be there. There will be some people interested, so I'm just going to show you our cost outlay for our 5 days. Okay, our 5 days in here. So on Friday, 2nd October, we will start our course here. You can see the opening, basic to 2, pullback method, full. So all our coaches will be here. And then that's on Friday night. Saturday, we got the sign of strength, sign of weakness, cluster of closers, pockets, and then we have the ping pong game. That's a risk management in here, teaching you how to trade. Trading psychology is very similar to this, but a bit more in-depth. And we're going to be looking at even building that confidence that you need. And then we're going to talk about portfolio 1, portfolio 2. All right, and then we go on Sunday. Fu will talk about pullback trade, which is one of the most powerful, especially in this market correction where the high win rate that you will make, the 80% pullback trade. And then we go introduce futures. That's right, futures are for shorting the market. When the market goes down, we have the futures market trading strategies. Fu and Marino will talk about. Then we will go on to the US market, which I believe going forward, the US market is going to be very, very good because of the US election. Then we'll go on to how to build your first portfolio for the US market in that there. And then on Monday, this will be all Zoom. We do live trading on FCPO and KLSE, going through our regular screener tools, all this again. And then on Wednesday night, we will be doing the US market. So next Wednesday night, we won't be doing any this will be on 7th of October. So take note. So it's a full 5-day program in there. Really get. And remember, you can re-attend this anytime every 2 months, as long as for 1 year, because the whole thing is for 1 year. So this is just a 5-day in October. We're doing one in December, then it will be in February, and then March. So this is how you really want to build in those strategies. Important. Those of you who are really interested, just type MC there and you can find out more about our program. So it's just not 1 day, it's actually 5 days over a period of 12 months, about 6 times a year. You will get back the money. And more important, if you feel that what we teach you today really have that strategy, it will be definitely good. All right, so that's a message I want to have, and just going to share with you here. All right, so that's all. I just want to talk about it. I don't want to overdo this, and let's go back to where I left off. So that was the 5-day period in here. Now do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so. All right, and you'll get a lot more information. So for next Wednesday, before our master class, that's right, we will talk about the political link counter for you guys to get in. Okay, so that will be next Wednesday. This free talks, even if you are not coming to the master class, no problem. I'm quite happy. Kevin Hunt asked how much is the master classroom. That's a number in there. We will contact you for it, for that one. We have no rush. And we are quite full already, even has to say that. But just more of a service to you guys, for those of you who've been following me for some time, on Zac and also Arif. We have all our coaches, all 5 of us, really teaching you in there. And better still, next Wednesday will be this talk. Okay, something I'm looking forward to. And again, right now, the 10 to 15%, the market correction is very healthy. The Biden and the Trump US election will be ongoing. So that's why I want to teach you guys the US market. I made a fair bit of money from the US market, and I think going forward, it's going to be good. What happened after the general election 15? Everything go haywire. Mati lo, right? So this is the backup plan. Again, a strategy in the Sun Tzu Art of War. We will prepare you for the US market. That's right. So, third, fifth, no, this will be second, and we will also involve the US trading strategies in here. And these, we believe, our asset are the people, our coaches, which I have trained them, and many of our members are re-attending back, and we continue to give you good talk, good products like our SmartRobie, totally free, that you will benefit too. Okay, so if not, join our Telegram, and when you're ready, right, we will see you in our future live FB, and we can talk more when you join our masterclass. We'll see you face to face. That'll be great. Okay, so thank you for coming tonight. So I hope you learned something about Sun Tzu Art of War. You can always re-attend back this talk tomorrow night and so forth. And I will leave right now, and I will prepare something for you great next week. Now do take note, the breakfast show for this Friday and Monday will be cancelled because I'll be going for Cuti Malaysia. When I come back next Wednesday, I'll tell you where I go. Okay, so with that, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope tonight you'll learn a lot about Sun Tzu Art of War. And if you have any question about the masterclass MC, right, we'll really want to help you. All right, very important is know yourself, have a strategy, and last but not least, become a skilled trader and investor. And that's all my wishes for you has always been, by watching all our free YouTube videos and Facebook download. Thank you very much. Good night. See you.